You and I are about to jump from the highboard at Henleaze Lake. Ready? The water's murky, but we're so brave. Look, this is what we just did. And from this weekend, people have been swimming here for a century.
Oh, it was fascinating.
Susie Parr's just written a book about the lake. She told me Bristol needed a place like this after the First World War.
The first members were actually convalescent soldiers who were in Southmead Hospital, and definitely many factors of post-war Bristol contributed to the club and made it what it was. It's very interesting. It was a mixed club right from the start, and that was very unusual. But it may be to do with the very active suffragette movement in Bristol, which saw a lot of action, suffragette action, and perhaps that contributed to women being allowed to swim with men.
There were glory years. It was a place to see and be seen. Note the daring two-piece swimsuits from 1952. There was fun on the ice in winter. Summertime there was water polo, galas and diving contests. But just like the springboard, the club has had its ups and downs, including gangs of wild boys who used to take it over at night.
Even though they weren't members of the club, they managed to make the lake their own. It was their own place. They would fish and swim. They even had their own currency in terms of frogs. They would catch frogs here and then swap them for inner tubes or catapults.
The 60s and 70s were dark decades for the club. It started becoming the success it is now in the 1980s.
I don't think there is another venue quite like this. It's like going back 40 or 50 years when you walk through the gate. That old feeling has been kept and maintained over the years. We progress in the backgrounds with health and safety and processes and documentation, but we never allow that to affect the absolute feeling of the lake.
It fulfills a lot of my needs. For the elements, it's airy and fresh and there's water. If it gets too hot I can swim.
Before we leave, just one last go on the highboard. Diver James Slaney's going to talk us through it.
On a busy day when I dive from the board you get a lot of people watching you, so the pressure's on. When you dive from the top board you walk up to the edge and you look down and it's quite scary because it's quite high. And I just take the leap, and once I dive, it's just an amazing feeling.
Start going down the stairs and in.
They're celebrating this weekend with a synchronised swim. 100 amateurs in formation. Happy birthday, Henleaze. Roberts Murphy, ITV News.